Carmen Seculare for the year 1700 to the King Matthew Prior thy elder look, great Janus, cast into the long records of ages past, review the years in fairest action dressed with noted white, superior to the rest. Eras derived, and chronicles begun from empires founded, and from the tales won, show all the spoils by valiant kings achieved, and groaning nations by their arms relieved. The wounds of patriots in their country's cause, and happy pal single quote are sustained by wholesome laws, in comely rank call every merit forth, imprint on every act at standard worth, the glorious parallels then downward bring to modern wonders, and to Britain's king, with equal justice and restored care their laws, their toils, their arms with his compare, confess the various attributes of fame collected and complete in William's name. To all the listening world relate as thou dost his story read, that nothing went before so great, and nothing greater can succeed. Thy native Latium was thy darling care, prudent in peace, and terrible in war. The boldest virtues that have governed earth from Latium's fruitful womb derive their birth. Then turn to her fair written page, from dawning childhood to established age, the glories of her empire trace, confront the heroes of thy Roman race, and let the justice palm the victor's temple's grace. The son of Mars reject the trembling swains, and spread his empire o'er the distant plains, but yet the Sabines' violated charms obscured the glory of his rising arms. None the rites of strict religion knew. On every altar lay the incense dew. Unskilled to dart the pointed spear, or lead the forward youth to noble war. Stern Brutus was with too much horror good, holding his fasces stained with filial blood. Fabius was wise, but with excess of care. He saved his country, but prolonged the war, while Decius, Paulus, Curius greatly fought, and by their strict examples taught, how wild desires should be controlled, and how much brighter virtue was, than gold. They scarce their swelling thirst of fame could hide, and boasted poverty with too much pride. Excess in youth made Scipio less revered, and Cato dying seemed to own, he feared. Julius with honor timed drums foreign foes, but patriots fell, ere the dictator rose. And while with clemency Augustus reigned, the monarch was adored, the city chained. With justice honor be their merits stressed, but be their failings too confessed. Their virtue, like their Tiber's flood rolling, its course designed the country's good, but oft the torrents too impetuous speed from the low earth tore some polluting weed, and with the blood of Jove there always ran some viler part, some tincture of the man. Few virtues after these so far prevail, but that their vices more than turn the scale, flower grown wild by pride, and pal single quotar by rage, did the true charms of majesty impair. Rome by degrees advancing more in age, showed sad remains of what had once been fair, till even a better race of men supplies, and glory shoots new beams from western skies. Turn then to Pharamond, and Charlemagne, and the long heroes of the Gallic strain, experienced chiefs, for hardy prowess known, and bloody wreaths and venturous battles won. From the first William, our great Norman king, the bold Plantagenets, and Tudors bring illustrious virtues, who by turns have rose, in foreign fields to check Britannia's foes, with happy laws her empire to sustain, and with full pow single quotar assert her ambient main, but sometimes too industrious to be great, nor patient to expect the turns of fate, they opened camps deformed by civil fight, and made proud conquest trample over right. Disparted Britain mourned their doubtful sway, and dreaded both, when neither would obey. From Didier, and imperial Adolf trace the glorious offspring of the Nassau race, devoted lives the public liberty, the chief still dying, or the country free. Then see the kindred blood of Orange flow, from warlike Cornet, throw the loins of Bow. Throw Gelon next, and there with Nassau join, from Rhone's fair banks transplanted to the Rhine. Bring next the royalist of Stuarts forth, undaunted minds, that ruled the rugged north, till heaven's decrees by ripening times are shown, till Scotland's kings ascend the English throne, and the fair rivals live forever one. Janus, mighty deity, be kind, and as thy searching eye does our modern story trace, finding some of Stuart's race unhappy, pass their annals by, no harsh reflection let remembrance raise, forbear to mention what thou canst not praise, but as thou dwellest upon that heavenly name, to grief forever sacred as to fame. Oh, read it to thyself. In silence weep, and thy convulsive sorrows inward keep, lest Britain's grief should waken at the sound, and blood gush fresh from her eternal wound. Whither wouldest thou further look? Read William's Acts, and close the ample book, peruse the wonders of his dawning life. How, like Alcides, he began, with infant patience calmed seditious strife, and quelled the snakes which round his cradle ran. Describe his youth, attentive to alarms, by dangers formed, and perfected in arms, when conquering, mild, when conquered, not discracked, by wrongs not lessened, nor by triumphs wrought, superior to the blind events of little human accidents, and constant to his first decree, to curb the proud, to set the injured free, to bow the haughty neck, and raise the suppliant knee. His opening years to riper manhood bring, and see the hero perfect in the king, imperious arms by manly reason swayed, and power supreme by free consent obeyed, with how much haste his mercy meets his foes, and how unbounded his forgiveness flows, with what desire he makes his subjects blessed, his favors granted or his throne addressed, what trophies o'er our captive hearts he rears, by arts of peace more potent than by wars, how o'er himself, as o'er the world, he reigns, his moral strengthening, what his law ordains. Through all his thread of life already spun, becoming grace and proper action run, the peace by virtue's equal hand is wrought, mixed with no crime, and shaded with no fault, no footsteps of the victor's rage left in the camp, where William did engage, no tincture of the monarch's pride upon the royal purple spired, his fame, like gold, the more 'tis tried, the more shall its intrinsic worth proclaim, shall pass the combat of the searching flame, and triumph o'er the vanquished heat, forever coming out the same, and losing nor its lustre, nor its weight. Janus be to William just, to faithful history his actions trust, command her, with peculiar care to trace each toil, and comment every war, his saving wonders bid her write in characters distinctly bright, that each revolving age may read the patriot's piety, the hero's deed, and still the sire inculcate to his son transmissive lessons of the king's renown, that William's glory still may live, when all that present art can give, the pillared marble, and the tablet brass, mold ring, drop the victor's praise, when the great monuments of his pal single quotar shall now be visible no more, when Sambra shall have changed her winding flood, and children ask, where Namur stood. Namur, proud city, how her towers were armed, how she contemned th approaching foe, till she by William's trumpets was alarmed, and shook, and sunk, and fell beneath his blow. Jove and Pallas, mighty pal single quotares, guided the hero to the hostile toe single quotares. Perseus seemed less swift in war, when, winged with speed, he flew through air. Embattled nations strive in vain the hero's glory to restrain, streams armed with rocks, and mountains red with fire in vain against his force conspire. Behold him from the dreadful height appear, and lo! Britannia's lions waving there. Europe freed, and France repelled the hero from the height beheld, he spake the word, that war and rage should cease, he bid the Meuse and Rhine in safety flow, and dictated a lasting peace to the rejoicing world below, to rescued states, and vindicated crowns his equal hand prescribed their ancient bounds, ordained whom every province should obey, how far each monarch should extend his sway, taught him how clemency made pal single quotar revered, and that the prince beloved was truly feared. Firm by his side unspotted honor stood, pleased to confess him not so great as good, his head with brighter beams fair virtue deck single quotee, than those which all his numerous crowns reflect, established freedom clapped her joyful wings, proclaimed the first of men, and best of kings. Whither would the muse aspire with Pandar's rage without his fire? Pardon me, Janus, 'twas a fault, created by too great a thought, mindless of the god and day, I from thy altars, Janus, stray, from thee, and from myself borne far away. The fiery Pegasus disdains to mind the rider's voice, or hear the reins, when glorious fields and opening camps he views. He runs with an unbounded loose, hardly the muse can sit the headstrong horse, nor would she, if she could, check his impetuous force, with the glad noise the cliffs and valleys ring, while she through earth and air pursues the king. She now beholds him on the Belgic shore, whilst Britain's tears his ready help implore, dissembling for her sake his rising cares, and with wise silence pondering vengeful wars. She through the raging ocean now views him advancing his auspicious prow, combating adverse winds and winter seas, sighing the moments that defer our ease, daring to wield the scepter's downwards weight, and taking the command, to save the state, though ere the doubtful gift can be secured, new wars must be sustained, new wounds endured. Through rough Erin's camp she sounds alarms, and kingdoms yet to be redeemed by arms. In the dank marshes finds her glorious theme, and plunges after him through Boyne's fierce stream. She bids the Nereids run with trembling haste, to tell old ocean how the hero passed. The god rebukes their fear, and owns the praiseworthy that arm, whose empire he obeys. Back to his Albion she delights to bring the humblest victor, and the kindest king. Albion, with open triumph would receive her hero, nor obtains his leave, firm he rejects the altars she would raise, and thanks the zeal, while he declines the praise. Again she follows him through Belgia's land, and countries often saved by William's hand. Here's joyful nations bless those happy toils, which freed the people, but returned the spoils. In various views she tries her constant theme, finds him in councils, and in arms the same, when certain to overcome, inclined to save, tardy to vengeance, and with mercy, brave. Sudden another scene employs her sight, she sets her hero in another light, paints his great mind superior to success, declining conquest, to establish peace, she brings Istria down to earth again, and quiet, brooding o'er his future reign. Then with unwearied wing the goddess soars east, over Danube and Propontis shores, where jarring empires ready to engage, retard their armies, and suspend their rage. Till William's word, like that of fate, declares, if they shall study peace, or lengthen wars. How sacred his renown for equal laws, to whom the world defers its common cause. How fair his friendships, and his leagues how just, whom every nation courts, whom all religions trust. From the Meotis to the northern sea, the goddess wings her desperate way. Sees the young Muscovite, the mighty head, whose sovereign terror 40 nations dread, enamored with the greater monarch's praise, and passing half the earth to his embrace, she in his rule beholds his Volga's force, o'er precipices, with impetuous sway breaking, and as he rolls his rapid course, drowning, or bearing down, whatever meets his way. But her own king she likens to his Thames, with gentle course devolving fruitful streams, serene yet strong, majestic yet sedate, swift without violence, without terror great. Each ardent nymph the rising current craves, each shepherd's prey single quota retards the parting waves, the vales along the bank their sweets disclose, fresh flow single quotas forever rise, and fruitful harvest grows. Yet whither would th adventurous goddess go? Sees she not clouds, and earth, and main below? Minds she the dangers of the Lycian coast, and fields, where mad Bellerophon was lost? Or is her toe-ring flight reclaimed by seas from Icarus's downfall-named? Vain is the call, and useless the advice, to wise persuasion deaf, and human cries, yet upward she incessant flies. Resolved to reach the high Empyrean sphere, and tell great Jove, she sings his image here. To ask for William an Olympic crown, to Chromius' strength, and Theron's speed unknown, till lost in trackless fields of shining day, unable to discern the way which Nassau's virtue only could explore, untouched, unknown, to any muse before, she, from the noble precipices thrown, comes rushing with uncommon ruin down. Glorious attempt! Unhappy fate! The song too daring, and the theme too great. Yet rather thus she wills to die, than in continued annals live, to sing a second hero, or a vulgar king, and with ignoble safety fly inside of earth, along a middle sky, to Janus' altars, and the numerous throng, that round his mystic temple press, for William's life, and Albion's peace, ambitious muse reduce the roving song. Janus, cast thy forward eye future, into great Rhea's pregnant womb, where young ideas brooding lie, and tender images of things to come, till by thy high commands released, till by thy hand in proper atoms stressed, In decent order they advance to light, yet then too swiftly fleet by human sight, and meditate too soon their everlasting flight. Nor beaks of ships in naval triumph borne, nor standards from the hostile ramparts torn, nor trophies brought from battles won, nor oaken wreath, nor mural crown can any future honors give to the victorious monarch's name. The plenitude of William's fame can no accumulated stores receive. Shut then, auspicious God, thy sacred gate, and make us happy, as our King is great. Be kind, and with a milder hand, closing the volume of the finished age, though noble, 'twas an iron page, a more delightful leaf expand, free from alarms, and fierce Bellona's rage. Bid the great months begin their joyful round, by Flora some, and some by Ceres crowned. Teach the glad hours to scatter, as they fly, soft quiet, gentle love, and endless joy, led forth the years for peace and plenty famed, from Saturn's rule, and better metal named. Secure by William's care let Britain stand, nor dread the bold invader's hand, from adverse shows in safety let her hear foreign calamity, and distant war, of which let her, great heathen, no portion bear. Betwixt the nations let her hold the scale, and as she wills, let either part prevail. Let her glad valleys smile with wavy corn, let fleecy flocks her rising hills adorn, around her coast let strong defense be spread, let fair abundance on her breast be shed, and heavenly sweets bloom round the goddess' head. Where the white towers and ancient roofs did stand, remains of Wolsey's or great Henry's hand, to age nigh yielding, or devoured by flame. Let a young phoenix raise her towering head, her wings with lengthened honor let her spread, and by her greatness show her builder's fame. August and open, as the hero's mind, be her capacious courts designed, let every sacred pillar bear trophies of arms, and monuments of war. The king shall there in Parian marble breath, his shoulder bleeding fresh, and at his feet disarmed shall lie the threatening death, for so was saving Jove's decree complete. Behind, that angel shall be plaqued, whose shield saved Europe, in the blow repelled, on the firm basis, from his oozy bed buoyant shall raise his laureled head, and his immortal stream be known, artfully waving thro' the wounded stone. And thou, imperial Windsor, stand enlarged, with all the monarch's trophies charged, thou, the fair haven, that dost the stars enclose, which William's bosom wears, or him bestows on the great champions who support his throne, and virtues nearest to his own. Round Ormond's knee thou tiest the mystic string, that makes the knight companion to the king. From glorious camps returned, and foreign fields, bowing before thy sainted warrior's shrine, fast by his great forefathers' coats, and shields blazoned from Bohun's, or from Butler's line, he hangs his arms, nor fears those arms should shine with an unequal ray, or that his deed with paler glory should recede, eclipsed by theirs, or lessened by the fame even of his own maternal Nassau's name. Thou smiling seest great Dorset's worth confessed, the ray distinguishing the patriot's breast, born to protect and love, to help and please, sovereign of wit, and ornament of peace. Oh, long as breath informs this fleeting frame, ne'er let me pass in silence Dorset's name. Ne'er cease to mention the continued debt, which the great patron only would forget, and duty, long as life, must study to acquit. Renowned in thy records shall Kentish stand, asserting legal pow single quotar, and just command, to the great house thy favor shall be shown, the father's star transmissive to the son. From thee the Talbots and the Seymours race informed, their sires' immortal steps shall trace, happy may their sons receive the bright reward, which thou alone canst give. And if a god these lucky numbers guide, if sure Apollo o'er the verse preside, Jersey, beloved by all, for all must feel the influence of the form in mind, where comely grace and constant virtue dwell, like mingled streams, more forcible when joined. Jersey shall at thy altars stand, shall there receive the azure band, that fairest mark of favor and of fame, familiar to the Villiers name. Science to raise, and knowledge to enlarge, be our great master's future charge. To write his own memoirs, and leave his heirs high schemes of government, and plans of wars. By fair rewards our noble youth to raise to emulous merit, and to thirst of praise. To lead them out from easy air opening dawn, through the thick forest and the distant lawn, where the fleet stag employs their ardent care, and chases give them images of war, to teach them vigilance by false alarms. Inure them in feigned camps to real arms. Practice them now to curb the turning steed, mocking the foe. Now to his rapid speed to give the rein, and in the full career, to draw the certain sword, or send the pointed spear. Let him unite his subjects' hearts, planting societies for peaceful arts. Some that in nature shall true knowledge found, and by experiment make precept sound. Some that to morals shall reckle the age, and purge from vicious dross the sinking stage. Some that with care true eloquence shall teach, and to just idioms fix our doubtful speech, that from our writers distant realms may know the thanks we to our monarch owe. And schools profess our tongue through every land that has invoked his aid, or blessed his hand. Let his high pal single quotar the drooping muses rear. The muses only can reward his care, 'tis they that guard the great Atrides spoils, 'tis they that still renew Ulysses' toils. To them by smiling Jove 'twas given, to save distinguished patriots from the common grave. To them, great William's glory to reckle, when statues moulder, and when arches fall. Nor let the muses, with ungrateful pride, the sources of their treasure hide. The hero's virtue does the string inspire, when with big joy they strike the living lyre. On William's fame their fate depends, with him the song begins, with him it ends. From the bright effluence of his deed they borrow that reflected light, with which the lasting lamp they feed, whose beams dispel the damps of envious night. Through various climes, and to each distant pole unhappy tides let active commerce roll. Let Britain's ships export an annual fleece, richer than Argos brought to ancient Greece, returning loaden with the shining stores, which lie profuse on either India's shores. As our high vessels pass their watery way, let all the naval world do homage pay. With hasty reverence their top honors lower, confessing the asserted power, to whom by fate 'twas given, with happy sway to calm the earth, and vindicate the sea. Our praise single quotaras are heard, our master's fleets shall go, as far as winds can bear, or waters flow, new lands to make, new Indies to explore, in worlds unknown to plant Britannia's power. Nations yet walled by precept to reclaim, and teach in arms, and arts, in William's name. With humble joy, and with respectful fear the listening people shall his story hear, the wounds he bore, the dangers he sustained, how far he conquered, and how well he reigned. Shall own his mercy equal to his fame, and form their children's accents to his name, inquiring how, and when from heaven he came. Their regal tyrants shall with blushes hide their little lusts of arbitrary pride, nor bear to see their vassals tied, when William's virtues raised their opening thought, his 40 years for public freedom fought, Europe by his hand sustained, his conquest by his piety restrained, and o'er himself the last great triumph gained. No longer shall their wretched zeal adore ideas of destructive power, spirits that hurt, and godheads that devour. New incense they shall bring, new altars raise, and fill their temples with a stranger's praise. When the great Father's character they find visibly stamped upon the hero's mind, and own a present deity confessed, in valour that preserved, and power that blessed. Through the large convex of the azure sky, for thither nature casts our common eye, fierce meteors shoot their arbitrary light, and comets march with lawless horror bright. These here no rule, no righteous order own. Their influence dreaded, as their ways unknown, through threatened lands they wild destruction throw, till ardent prayer averts the public woe. But the bright orb that blesses all above, the sacred fire, the real son of Jove, rules not his actions by capricious will, nor by ungoverned power declines to ill. Fixed by just laws he goes forever right, man knows his course, and thence adores his light. O Janus! Would entreated fate conspire to grant what Britain's wishes could require? Above, that sun should cease his way to go, ere William ceased to rule, and bless below, but a relentless destiny urges all that ere was born, snatched from her arms. Britannia once must mourn the demigod, the earthly half must die. Yet if our incense can your wrath remove, if human prayers avail on minds above, exert, great God, thy interest in the sky. Gain each kind pal single quotar, each guardian deity, that conquered by the public vow, they bear the dismal mischief far away. Oh, long as utmost nature may allow, let them retard the threatened day, still be our master's life thy happy care, still let his blessings with his years increase, to his laborious youth consumed in war, add lasting age, adorned and crowned with peace, let twisted olive bind those laurels fast, whose verdure must forever last. Long let this growing era bless his sway, and let our sons his present rule obey, on his sure virtue long let earth rely, and late let the imperial eagle fly, to bear the hero through his father's sky, to lead his twins, or he whose glorious speed on foot prevailed, or he who tamed the steed. To Hercules, at length absolved by fate from earthly toil, and above envy great. To Virgil's theme, bright Cytherea's son, sire of the Latian, and the British throne. To all the radiant names above, revered by men, and dear to Jove. Late, Janus, let the Nassau star new-born, in rising majesty appear, to triumph over vanquished night, and guide the prosperous mariner with everlasting beams of friendly light.